Hey, welcome. Today, we're going to be breaking down the Peer Support Core Competencies workbook. So think of this as your personal study guide. Whether you're just starting out or you're a seasoned pro looking for a little refresher, we're going to cover the absolute essentials, the real building blocks of your practice.
All right, so here's the game plan for our time together. First, we're going to set the stage and create our learning space. Then, we'll lay down that first crucial foundation stone, really understanding what recovery is all about. From there, we'll get into the very heart of peer support itself, and we'll wrap up by looking at how you put all these amazing principles into action.
So, before we can even start building, we got to agree on the ground rules. This first part is all about setting up our shared space for learning, making it a place that's safe, that's respectful, and where every single one of us can really grow.
Now, these guidelines, they aren't just for this session. This is the absolute bedrock of what we do. Things like confidentiality, mutual respect, using I statements. This is how we create that trust and safety that's needed for any real connection to happen. It's the very same container you'll be creating in your own work.
Okay, let's get to it. It's time to lay that first and, honestly, most important foundation stone, and that's getting a deep understanding of the philosophy of recovery and wellness. This, right here, this is the why behind every single thing we do in peer support.
I just love this definition. It frames wellness not as some final destination, right? Not somewhere you just arrive. Instead, it's a conscious, self-directed journey. It's an active process of making choices. And that idea, that concept of self-direction is just so central to everything in peer support.
And this image, well, it just illustrates that journey perfectly. You see the old treatment way of thinking down at the bottom? It stops at that neutral point, the absence of illness. But the wellness paradigm, where we live, sees that as just the starting line. Our whole goal is to support people on their own path toward high-level wellness and reaching their full potential. And this right here really highlights a huge shift in how we see things. An illness-centered approach, it's all built on a diagnosis. But a person-centered approach, which is the absolute heart of peer support, it's built on the relationship. It honors an individual's own unique goals for their own life. This definition from SAMHSA just pulls it all together so well. See, recovery isn't a cure. It's a deeply personal process of change. And notice what it emerges from: hope. That belief that a better future is possible, well, that's the catalyst for the entire journey. So, the CHIME Framework gives us a fantastic way to talk about the key ingredients of recovery: connectedness, hope, identity, meaning, and empowerment. But these aren't just separate things on a checklist. They're all woven together. Think about it. Hope can spark the search for a new identity. Feeling connected can lead to a bigger sense of meaning. And empowerment? That's what holds them all up. As peer supporters, our job is to help nurture all of these interconnected processes.
Okay, so now that we have a solid understanding of recovery, let's lay down that next foundation stone, the nature of peer support itself. So what is it that we actually do?
I think this definition from PeerWorks is just fantastic. It points out that this is a naturally occurring process. The words that just jump out at me are mutually beneficial and meet as equals. This is not a top-down relationship. It is a partnership, and it's built on that shared experience.
These 7 core values from the Mental Health Commission of Canada, you can think of these as our North Star. They're like the compass that guides every single interaction we have. Hope, self-determination, empathy, equality, these are not just nice ideas. They are the absolute non-negotiables of our work.
So, we have our values, right? Our guiding philosophy. But what does that actually look like from day to day? How do we take these big ideas and turn them into real, concrete actions? Well, that's where the values in action come into play.
And this is so important. These 17 actions, they weren't just dreamed up in a meeting. No, they were identified through research with the people actually receiving peer support. This is what they say makes the support meaningful and effective. This is what it looks like from their side. Let's look at an example. This simple statement, just saying, "You are not alone." Wow, it directly brings to life the core values of hope, of connectedness, of building empathetic relationships. It's such a powerful, tangible thing you can do that flows right from our guiding principles. And here's another one that just beautifully shows the value of self-determination. It's that huge difference between doing something for someone and empowering them to do it for themselves. It's all about fostering that sense of agency and control over one's own life. And that is a true cornerstone of recovery. And finally,
Understanding where we came from really gives our work some context. Peer support wasn't just invented one day, it was born out of the consumer survivor movement. It's a practice that's deeply rooted in advocacy and social justice and in the fight for self-determination.
So as we wrap this up, this is where the real work begins. We've laid the foundation, right? We've talked about recovery, the core values, the values in action. Now it's on you to take this back to your own work. Looking at all these building blocks, which one of them really speaks to you? Which one feels the most important for you to focus on right now to make your own practice even stronger? That's your next step.